Hello, it's your girl Moneza. Welcome back to my page. You clicked on this video to make a strawberry beanie, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. So a few things that you're going to need. I'm going to be using a size G or a 4.25 millimeter sized hook. If you do not have this size, you can use a 5 millimeter sized hook or a 4 millimeter sized hook. Next, I'm just going to show you the yarn that I'm going to be using today. This is the Soft Secret from Yarn Bee in the shade Red. This is a weight 4 yarn, and if you don't know what weight your yarn is, just flip your packaging over to all the writing, and you'll see right here the different weight that it is, and it's a weight 4 medium. I'm going to be using 2 more colors as well to give our strawberry hat some more details. And I'm going to be using the Yarn Bee Soft Secret in Olive. This is another weight 4 yarn. And for the last bit of details, I'm going to be using the Big Twist from Joann's in their Value. And this is another weight 4. You don't need much of this at all. So we're going to put our other colors aside, and you're going to grab your red. What we're going to do is make this as easy as possible. So we're going to start off with a slip knot. So you've got your long end and your short end. You're going to cross over the short end on top of the long. You're then going to put your fingers through the hole you created. Grab the short end and kind of just guide everything through, and you'll just want to pull. Make sure you leave enough room for your short end so that you can do this successfully. Next, you're going to grab your hook, put it on the loop, and tighten everything up. Next, we're going to chain up enough chains to equal 9 inches. So you might need a measuring tape for this as well, but if you're making this beanie for yourself, you can chain up as many as you would like. Alrighty, so instead of the 9 inches that I told you guys to do, I ended up doing 11, and I ended up doing 46 stitches. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to yarn over. So now I'm going to actually count out 3 stitches. So counting this one, 1, 2, 3. Put your thumb there. You're going to yarn over, and what we're going to do is a double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook into that 3rd stitch, pick up, and you should have like 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over again, you're going to pull through 2, yarn over again, and you're going to pull through 2. And that is basically the stitch we're going to be doing throughout this entire beanie. So you're just going to continue. You're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the next loop right next to it. You should have 3, yarn over again, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. You're going to continue this until you get to the end of your row. Alrighty, after I completed my row, the 11 inches that we had originally shrunk down to like about 10. It's about 10 inches long, which is perfect. So after you get done placing a double crochet in every single one of those stitches, you'll get to the end. Now we're going to continue our row. You're going to chain up 3. So you're going to yarn over, pull through. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. Now what you're going to do is flip your work. And what we're going to do, this is going to be the patterning that you're going to follow throughout the entire making of this beanie. We're going to flip it and make sure we're looking at it this way. Now what you're going to do is place your double crochets in the back stitches. Now what that means is you see these 2 loops, there's 1, there's 2, there's 1, there's 2, all along this row. Yarn over, look at the loops, place your hook in between the loops, pick up, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now you're going to continue that until you get to the end. Okay, now we're getting towards the end, and I just want to show you guys how we're going to be finishing off the ends. So this is the second to last stitch, and then we have our chain 3 from the beginning. So like usual, you're going to insert your last double crochet into the back stitch, yarn over, and to make my edges straight, I simply like to just yarn over and insert my hook right into that in-between space. I'm sorry about the noise. See this hole right here where my nail is poking through? I like to insert my hook right there. Yarn over, pick up. And that's how I like to do it. Alrighty, now that you're at the end, you're just gonna chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. Flip your work. And we're just gonna continue that pattern for the duration of this beanie. So you're gonna look at your stitches, and we're not gonna go into this first one, we're gonna go into the second one. Go in between, pick up the back loop, and insert your double crochet. And then we'll keep going until we get to the end. Make sure you go into those back loops. Alrighty, we're back with our finished rectangle. I ended up doing 43 rows altogether. This might vary for you, so if you get to a point, just wrap this around your head, see how it fits, and that'll be it. So I'm gonna actually take the 2 sides and I'm gonna fold them together. Fold them in half. And I'm going to get my crochet hook that I've been using this whole time, and I'm going to slip my hook through the loop. And basically we're gonna sew each of the ends together. So I'm gonna insert my hook in that space where my nail is, yarn over, chain up, and we're gonna do a single crochet. So we're gonna yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Beautiful. Now we're just gonna go along the sides. So we're gonna go into the next stitch. This one right here. Insert your hook through all of the loops, underneath all of the loops. And you're gonna basically do the same thing on the other side. The other side doesn't have 2 loops like that. So you're just gonna insert your hook into the next stitch. So you're gonna insert your hook on the other side, on top of that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through again. And you're just going to continue doing this until you get to the end, and I'll show you what we do next. Alrighty, now that we've reached the end of our sewing, we're gonna now cut our ends and tie off. So with your loop, you're just gonna leave it like that, and we're actually gonna leave ourselves a pretty long tail. I'm doing more than I need for sure, but I like to do a long tail. We're gonna snip, and you're going to feed the tail through your hole. You're gonna pull through, and you just finished off your piece. So now we're going to we're gonna sew one of the ends together. You can use your crochet hook for this, but I find a tapestry needle just a little quicker. You're gonna feed your end through your needle, or do this with your crochet hook. And we're gonna go along the top of our hat. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go in between, in and out of the stitches. I'm gonna go in here, kind of skip this whole chunk there, go in there, and I'm just gonna continue doing that until we get to the end. Alrighty, so now that I'm back at like the beginning, I'm just gonna get it as close to the beginning as possible. And now what you're going to do is tighten that up, make sure it's all good. Might have to adjust and fix it and make sure it's super tight. And what I like to do is I like to go in one more time and kind of just reinforce all of these stitches. So now I'll just go in and reinforce all of that, just going in and out, making sure your hat is nice and tight. When you stick your hand through, you want to make sure you don't have like a gap or anything like that. Just gonna make sure it's super tight. And since this is the side I sewed on, this is where we did all of our single crochet. This is gonna be like the inside of the hat. So once we're finished with everything, we're going to flip it inside out. But I'm gonna tie off first. So after you go in as many times as you would like, you're then just going to go in somewhere, make a loop, feed your needle through the loop, and I'm gonna do it twice. And then I'm just gonna tighten that up. I like to do this more than enough. So I'm gonna make my loop, go in it twice, and tighten. I'm gonna do that one more time. And there we go. Now I'm just gonna feed this little bit in, just a little bit on the side of our project. It doesn't really matter. You just wanna like hide this little string, your tail in. I'm gonna go in that far. And to make sure that this little piece doesn't come undone at all, I'm gonna go back. Just go back like that. Should be secure. I'm gonna cut now. We're gonna flip our hat inside out. And if you have any tail ends sticking out, just go in and tuck them into the other side. I'm gonna use my crochet hook for this. But this is your completed hoodie, or beanie, I mean. Now if you want to stop here, you could stop here, but I'm gonna add in our strawberry details. So firstly, I'm gonna be making the stem. Alrighty, so now that the easy part is over, we're going to get started on the stem. I'm gonna try to make it as simple as humanly possible. So we're going to take our green yarn and we're going to first make a slip knot. So just like how we did in the beginning, pull that through, insert your hook, and we're going to start off by chaining 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the first chain that we did right here. Insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through everything. And it's okay if your tail starts to come apart like that, just tighten it back up. Now from here we're going to chain up 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alrighty. So now we're going to insert a single crochet into the second stitch on our chain. So we're not inserting right here, as you can see. We're going to be inserting right next to it. So right there. Yarn over, pull through, and do a single crochet. Now we're going to do another single crochet. Insert your hook into the next stitch and insert your single crochet. Now from here, we're going to do a half double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. You should have 3 loops. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of these loops. You just did a half double crochet. Yarn over, and we're going to do 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches. Insert yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Another double crochet right next to her. Next, we're going to be doing a single crochet right next to that one. And if you can see right here where it's kind of joining our 2 little sides, we're going to insert a slip stitch. So you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, and you're going to just pull through everything. It should look something like this. Next, you're going to do 2 slip stitches into the next 2 stitches. So we're down to our circle again. Where our tail is hanging out, you're going to insert your hook right into that spot, yarn over and pull through everything. And now you're going to insert another slip stitch right next to that one. Next, you're going to chain up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to insert 2 single crochets. Remember the second stitch on our chain. 1, 2, a half double crochet, 2 double crochets, a single crochet, and slip stitch on that last stitch. Next, we're going to do our 2 slip stitches. So into this stitch right here, slip stitch again right next to that stitch, and we're just going to repeat until we get to the end. So you're just going to chain up 8, two single crochets, a half double crochet, two double crochets, a single crochet, and a slip stitch. Awesome. Now you're going to add 2 more slip stitches, slip through, chain up 8, and I'll meet you back when we're at the end. After you get done with your 2 slip stitches that you needed to do, you're then going to slip stitch into the row going up the next petal. So right at the base, you're just going to slip stitch. And do the best you can. It doesn't really need to like go through every single like loop or whatever. Just do your best. You're gonna slip stitch. Then in the next stitch, you're going to single crochet. You're then gonna do 3 half double crochets in the next 3 stitches. Next, you're going to do a single crochet. Then you're going to, as you're going up your petals, it might be a little difficult to see the stitches. Like I said, you're going to do your absolute best. So these are going to be our last 2 stitches. You're actually going to be slip stitching in both of these. So where you see that this loop, that's going to be a slip stitch, and this loop is also going to be a slip stitch. You're going to slip stitch that through, and then right at the peak top, you're going to go under this stitch right here with your hook as best as you can, and you're going to slip stitch right at the tip. You're then going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And at the base of our chain 3, you're going to slip stitch into that first chain. Insert your hook, slip stitch that through. As you can see, it should look like that. Now we're going back down the petal. This stitch right here that starts the other side of the petal, you're going to insert your hook there, and you're going to also do another slip stitch. Now we're going to continue. So in the next stitch, we're going to single crochet. Three half double crochets in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. We're then going to single crochet right here. And now we should be kind of back where this gap is going into the next petal. Now we're just going to slip stitch 4 times. So I'm not sure how well you can see that. There's a stitch right here. You're going to slip stitch there. Like I said, do your best. You don't have to get under all the stitches. Slip stitch, that's 1. Slip stitch right next to that one. As you can see, I'm even struggling. That's 2. There's 1 right here. 3. And there's 1 right at the base, right before you go to the next petal. You're gonna slip stitch there as well. Alrighty, next you should be getting into your actual stitches. So right here, you're gonna go into the next stitch and you're gonna do a single crochet. I am so sorry for the planes and all the noise in the background. You're gonna do a single crochet. Then you're going to do 3 half double crochets in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And to make sure that you're having an easier time than I, make sure you're not crocheting too tight with your tension. That way you can slip your hook easier within the stitches. After our 3 half double crochets, we're going to single crochet. Then we're going to slip stitch. Remember there's 2 here, so 1. And then the last one right at the tip. Slip stitch that through. You're then going to chain 3. You're going to chain 3. You're going to insert a slip stitch right at the first chain that we did of our chain 3. My yarn keeps splitting, it's so annoying. Slip stitch, then now we're going back down the petal. We're going to insert a slip stitch on the other side of that petal. single crochet, 3 half double crochets in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, single crochet, and now we're back into that middle area. So you're going to slip stitch 4 times just to reach that next petal. Doesn't really matter how you do it, you just do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now that we're at the base of our next petal, you're just going to keep repeating this pattern until you get to the end. So we're at the end, and once you get done with your last set of 4 slip stitches to make sure you connect it to the other end, we're going to leave ourselves a pretty long tail because we're going to use this to sew it onto the hat. I'm going to make mine unnecessarily long. Rather it be too much than too little. So then we're going to yarn over and slip through everything and make sure you feed that all the way through and tighten it. So it should look pretty much like that. We're gonna now make the stem, so grab some more of your yarn. You're gonna make another slip knot. Put your hook through, and your petals should be curling up. You're gonna kind of fold it, not fold it, but you're gonna make sure that you can get into the middle. And I have loops that are popping up for me. You don't have to make sure you get your hook into every single one of these loops, just make sure that it's good enough. So I'm just gonna insert my hook wherever, and I'm gonna feed all my tail ends through the middle and make sure they're all coming out of one side. So now we're gonna actually insert a single crochet. So do that. I'm gonna count this as 1. Now throughout the circle, you're going to insert 10 single crochets. Like I said, it does not need to be accurate whatsoever. You don't need to get your hook into every single one of these stitches. Just make sure that it's good enough. 1, 2, 3. Like if you need to put two single crochets into one stitch, that is more than okay. 7, 8, 9, 10. I believe I'm back where I started. So you can even leave it as 9 stitches. It really does not matter. Just make sure you evenly distribute stitches along that middle. Now we're not going to attach the ends together. You're just going to keep continuing. And I think this is like kind of like the fun part. You can kind of make your stem as long or as short as you would like. But this is how I'm going to make mine. So it might be a little different for you, but play around with it. So I'm just going to keep going around in this circle and keep inserting single crochets into each one of these stitches until I kind of get the length of stem that I want. You can use a stitch marker to remind you where the beginning is. I'm not going to do that only because I just don't feel like doing that. But you can definitely do that if you would like. So I'm getting to be about the length that I kind of want my stem to be. About like that thick. I'm gonna start decreasing now. So I'm going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm gonna decrease. So I'm gonna go into this single crochet stitch, yarn over, pull through, And I'm gonna keep these stitches on my hook while I go into the one right next to it, yarn over and pick up again, yarn over and go through all 3 of these loops. You just made a decrease. So now I'm gonna do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna decrease again, so insert, pick up, keep those stitches, go to the next one, insert, pick up, yarn over, pull through everything. 3 single crochets, 2, 3. Gonna decrease. Now I'm just going to insert 1 single crochet into the next stitch. And now I'm going to decrease again. And as you can see, the hole is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and it might be harder and harder and harder to do this, which is the point. I think I can decrease maybe 1 more time, so that's what I'll do. Decrease. Actually, I can't decrease anymore. So I actually have 2 loops picked up. I'm just gonna go through that last stitch and yarn over, pull through. I'm going to snip my ends. I'm just gonna pull my hook through, make sure it goes through like that. I'm gonna then insert my hook in the middle of this, feed this through so that it is in the inside. Now you can stuff the middle of your stem with like stuffing or scrap yarn if you would like. If you want it to have more structure, like I said, you can make yours as long or as short as you would like. I want mine to be a little stubby. So now I'm just going to take the ends and I'm just going to tie a knot with all of those loose ends in the inside of like the stem. Work that knot all the way down to like the base. Tighten that up. I'm going to snip mine, tuck it back in, and that's what it should look like with your really long tail. So now you can do this and sew it onto the top of your beanie, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so I have the top of my little strawberry, and I have my hat. So I'm going to put right like that. And it fits very beautifully, very cute. You could leave it like this and have a tomato hat if you would like, but we're gonna do one last step to make it a strawberry hat. So I'm just gonna take my tapestry needle, and this this tail is way too long for this, but like I said, rather it be too long than too short. And I'm just gonna make sure it's actually going inside like that. That's just how I like to do mine. And I'm going to put it right at the top. And you're just going to sew her on beautifully like that. Alrighty, now that we have the top onto our strawberry, we're going to use the final details and get our yellow yarn out. Pull out a bit of it. This is probably way too much still. You're going to take your tapestry needle and feed it through. Oh my god, if I can actually do it. You're gonna feed it through, and you're gonna actually have this yellow yarn in half. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually tie a knot at the end of mine. You don't have to do this, Or maybe you do, I don't know, I've never really done this before. But I'm gonna tie a knot at the end of mine at least, and I'm gonna make it a pretty big, thick knot. And now you just kind of want to go in randomly, basically, and make these nice long stitches to resemble the seeds in a strawberry. You can make them as big as or as small as you would like, but this is how I'm going to be doing it. And I am actually just going in pretty randomly.